Just got back from a short trip southeast of Nagano, and this is what I saw. So I got back yesterday. If you look at Nagano City on a map, east southeast, going right out to the ocean. So that's going past Gunma, out to Ibaraki, down to the Boso Peninsula. And I went to visit family also in Tokyo as well. So it was quite a lot of driving for the 2 days, and there's some things that really stood out. What stood out for me was the amount of small businesses that have gone under, and it's not always the small businesses you expect, like these little carpentry companies and things like this. Convenience stores shuttered everywhere, and normal services out in these sort of rural areas, they've all shuttered. And the ones that are open, you can just tell that they're just hanging on, and very little maintenance on the buildings and things like this has been done. So it looks a little bit like the Rust Belt in America. So it was a bit of a shock. Last time I was driving through these areas was 5 years ago, and I noticed a decline then. And I knew that these sort of areas probably not a great place to buy, but just the speed of decline is what was really shocking to me. And one positive that came out of it is all these areas are quite flat going out to the ocean area, but there was a lot of agricultural activity. There was barely any land that wasn't cultivated, and these are big rice growing areas. So nice flat land, that's the best land for farming, and there's a lot of people putting in a lot of crops. But as far as services, few and far between, and even a couple of times I got a little bit worried that I might run out of petrol, because you can't always find a gasoline stand either. So many gasoline stands just shuttered, boarded up, and you could only really get petrol in sort of the more built up towns. So definitely a bit of an eye opener for me. As I said, I went all the way out to the ocean, and ever since the tsunami, and that's almost been 15 years now, there hasn't been really any investment at all. So even the people who had viable, decent businesses there, they seemed to just let them go. There were some areas that looked like the scene of an apocalypse. Looked like nobody lived in the town at all, save for a couple of people, and all overgrown everywhere. And then you'd sort of get out of the village, and you'd have quite well maintained rice fields and things like this. But as for the rural population, it seems that everyone's up and gone. Contrasting this to Tokyo, on the way home, I went through Tokyo, and I'll put a little bit of footage maybe at the end of the video, just to see how much that's changed. And it took so long to get out of the city. There's just so many people there now, so many cars, and due to the economic situation, people are just getting out of these service jobs and working for companies, I think, in Tokyo, and it's just accelerating. And it seems that the Japanese have sort of given up on these areas to do any sort of business as well. But on the bright side, I found a lot of opportunities out there. Just putting two and two together of what people would need, and certain things that I thought that would go well. So one thing I missed driving down there was just no mountains, very featureless, and didn't have a lot of character. The areas out east, down south along the peninsula, it's quite boring and monotonous as far as features and beauty go. So actually, I couldn't really wait to get out of there. So while I was down there, I went in and saw my friend Jaya, who has the Tokyo Llama channel, and I shot a little footage for the members. So if you're interested in architecture and things, just go over to the members section. And it was interesting talking about the different styles and things to do with Japanese houses. So if you're into houses, jump over to the members. But getting back to the situation down there, there are a lot of opportunities around if you're smart. But as far as action, like a lot of people and things like this, I think it's in terminal decline in most of these areas that I drove through. But it doesn't mean that business isn't. There's many things that you can do and take advantage of. I notice a lot of akia, a lot of empty homes, a lot of nice looking empty homes as well. But these are generally a trap, and I've spoken about this a lot, of people just buying a nice pretty house out in an area that's declining with no real business plan. And I saw literally thousands of these houses, and I can definitely see foreigners with very little information buying these places and losing their money. So just be careful out there, guys. So it's been a couple of years since we drove down that way and went and seen the family because they're not getting any younger. And my wife also picked up a cute little puppy. So Calby's got a friend now, and here he is. Mr. Casper. Casper in the house. So this is young Casper. He's got his spring onion. His spring onion toy. Here we got Mr. Casper. The Casp Meister. Good lad. So on the way down, we were jumping on and off the motorway, and a lot of what used to be the highway, so before the motorways were built, is just littered with old hotels and restaurants and cafes and just basically services, old dentist buildings, doctors buildings, things like this. They're all shuttered, and it really looks horrible. And this is mainly due to the new motorways going in and bypassing all these places. So they would have shuttered gradually and then all of a sudden. So it's really, really, the contrast is unbelievable of the towns where you get off the motorways and the ones which get bypassed. It's just like two different economic worlds. So this is why I always talk about transport links, 30 minutes to the Shinkansen and things like this. If you're going to buy a house in Japan, if you're not within that 30 minutes, big risk that the area you buy in is in a decline and you might not know about it. So just keep that in mind, is transport links are pretty much everything for the long-term survival of the area that you're going to live in. A lot of Japanese companies, they pay transport fees for their staff. So if their staff is not living anywhere near work, they'll pay for their Shinkansen tickets or their petrol for their car or something like that to get to work. That's normally part of the payment package, the salary package that people negotiate. So what will generally happen too is people who are not in the housing market, they will tend to want to rent as well within close proximity to these major stops, because that means they have access to a broader range of employment. So it's not just for house buyers, it's for basically even people who aren't in the housing market want to live within 30 minutes of the Shinkansens. And if you've got a business, these are your customers as well. So it's not all tourism. Most of my customers, 99%, are Japanese. So even though I live in the countryside, I don't rely on tourism at all. But I do rely that where I live is not in a decline, and it's not. Where I'm living is growing, and that's due to the transport links to the Shinkansen and major cities. This is pretty much the easternmost point of Japan. On the other side of the Chiba Peninsula. God bless Tokyo traffic.
Let's go walk.